Alright, I saw this 30-second snippet of a video from Darren Grimes, so I'll pop the video in and take it from there.
Anti-immigration or illegal immigration? What do you say?
I don't think anybody's illegal
I hear this a lot. What makes refugees not illegal?
because people aren't illegal.
Of course, but when they come into the country without passports, what can you do about that?
We can welcome them in. They're refugees, they're asylum seekers, they're fleeing persecution.
Right. And how do you feel about the taxpayer having to pay for that?
The taxpayer doesn't pay for that. I'm answering enough questions.
Okay. Apparently, the taxpayer doesn't pay for
The
illegal
taxpayer doesn't pay for that. Really? This is the same person who would believe the government when they say free healthcare, free tuition, free daycare. Really? Someone has to pay for it. It's not the bloody politicians that are paying for it. It's the same person that pays for everything. The friggin' taxpayer. And these quote-unquote women are the same women who believe diversity is a strength. Really? The reason why diversity is being pushed so much by politicians? Because their corporate overlords need wage slaves. And what do I mean by that? Well, here's a crude birth rate in Canada from 1860 to 2020. Now, you can see it was really high in 1860, but then it just gradually went down. And then in 1950, it spiked up. The spike remained till 1960. And then 1965, it went down. And then it just went down, 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 down. And then look at that. It just tanked. 1975, and it just kept tanking. 2020, yeah, look at that. Holy crap. And what happened in the 60s? Well, JFK passed the Equal Pay Act on June 10th, 1963. And what does the Equal Pay Act do? Prohibiting pay discrimination on the basis of sex for workers doing substantially similar jobs. So why would he have to pass this bill? Because corporations were taking advantage of women. Feminists drone on and on about this, about how women are paid less than men. This is only half true, or half wrong. They were paid less in the 60s. But then JFK fixed that. Now, are big corporations happy about that? Probably not. They probably wanted to give him a piece of their mind, or take a piece of his. Now, where did this drive come from for women to enter the workforce? Well, if I remember correct, during the Second World War, all the men were fighting, so they needed a labor force, so they started hiring women to do the work. Then after the war, all these men came back, and these companies wanted to give jobs to men, but they couldn't because the women were employed there. So what did they do? They gave women the boot. And the women were understandably butthurt, so they started protesting. And people would say because of this protesting, it put pressure on the companies to hire women. In my opinion, that's not what happened. The corporations, in my opinion anyway, realized that, hey, if we flood the labor market with labor, the price of labor will go down. It's just like the regular market. You flood it with a certain good, the price of that good goes down. And again, JFK had to pass a law to prohibit discrimination of pay based on sex. So that tells me corporations were definitely taking advantage of women. As a result of women entering the workforce, labor goes up, birth rate goes down.
Now more than ever, we're short of workers. We have a population that is not reproducing it on its own with the same level that it used to.
For once, a politician is actually telling the truth. So, 3 things. 1, a population that isn't reproducing as it used to. Again, women enter the workforce, birth rate goes down. And second thing, you see that hand motion he does in his chest? It's like he's pushing something out. Who does that? Women. Or I guess I should say, who used to do that.
Ultimate goal is to help the dreamers, but get a path to citizenship for all 11 million or however many undocumented there are here.
And third and final, he says we have to get a path to citizenship for the 11 million or however many are here. So yeah, he's trying to make them citizens. And there'd be numerous reasons for that. One, if they're citizens, they can vote, and they will vote Democrat because Democrats gave them citizenship. And two, more tax chattel. And three, mass amnesty. All you have to do is get into the states, and you get amnesty. So you'll have hundreds of thousands, millions more people just flooding into the states. Which is great for the corporations because once more, they'll be flooding the labor market with labor. So in summary, that's why I believe there are 3 people responsible for the collapse of the West. 1, corporations. 2, their puppets, the politicians. And 3, women. Who do I think is most at fault? Women. You see this woman in the picture here. She was constantly told by politicians that we have to help all the poor refugees and this and that. Won't somebody please think of the children? But in actuality, she's just bringing in her own replacement. Anywho, that's my thoughts on the matter. Take care out there in Clown World.